sun setting low on the broken town, where the echoes of the past still hang around. With the whiskey in hand and the fire in his eyes, he's been running from demons, but he can't disguise the pain in his chest, the scars on his soul. But the river keeps calling, so he'll never grow old. The rivers of ashes drifting down the stream, he's searching for the answers, chasing a dream. The world's been cruel, but he won't give in. The rivers of ashes burning from within. She's a woman of grit with a heart full of fight. She's been climbing the mountains, battling the night. Her past is a ghost that she can't leave behind, but she's stronger now with a fire in her mind. Through the storms and the rain, she's learned to stand tall. With every broken road, she answers the call. Rivers of ashes drifting down the stream, she's searching for the answers, chasing a dream. The world's been cruel, but she won't give in. Rivers of ashes burning from within. They've walked through the fire, they've danced in the dark. They've lost everything, but they found their spark. With the rivers of ashes, they'll rise from the flame. With every step forward, they'll never be the same. Rivers of ashes drifting down the stream, they're searching for the answers, chasing a dream. The world's been cruel, but they won't give in. He was born with the taste of the bitter night. The streets were cold, but his heart was alight. He fought through the rain, he fought through the pain. Said he'd never go back, never live in vain. But the weight of the world, it was dragging him down. Still he stood tall without a second to drown. Through the ashes and the fire, he keeps moving on, chasing dreams, though the road's long and gone. With the grit in his veins and the fire in his eyes, he'll rise again under those southern skies. She was raised in the dust, in the land of the brave, where you fight for your life and the things that you crave. Her father was gone, her mother's love was thin, but she learned to stand up even when life knocked her in. She's been torn, but she won't let it break. With a rebel's heart, she's got more at stake. Through the ashes and the fire, she keeps moving on, chasing dreams, though the road's long and gone. With the grit in her veins and the fire in her eyes, she'll rise again under those southern skies. They've seen the dark, they felt the storm, but through it all, they're still reborn. With the blood in their hands and the wind at their backs, they'll stand their ground, they won't turn back. Through the ashes and the fire, they keep moving on, chasing dreams, though the road's long and gone. With the grit in their veins and the fire in their eyes, they'll rise again under those southern skies. Through the ashes and the fire, they'll find their way. In the heat of the battle, they'll make their own day. Through the ashes and the fire, they'll rise under the southern sky. They'll claim their prize. Fire that never went out in the backwoods where the coyotes shout. With a fist full of dreams and a heart full of fight, he was built for the struggle, born for the night. The road's been hard, but he's still pushing on. A man of his word, and he's never wrong. Blood on the highway, tears in the rain. He's been through the hell, but he'll do it again. With the roar of the engine and the wind in his face, he's a wild one running from the chains of this place. She's a woman of steel, made from the earth. She's been broken and battered, but she knows her worth. With a soul that's scarred, but a spirit that's free, she's been fighting for life and fighting to be. She's walked through the fire, never asked for grace. Now she's riding high with a smile on her face. Blood on the highway, tears in the rain. She's been through the hell, but she'll do it again. With the roar the engine and the wind in her face, she's a wild one running from the chains of this place. Together they ride, two hearts that don't break. In the rear view they can see the past shake. With 1,000 miles to go, they won't stop for the night. With blood on their hands, they're ready to fight. Blood on the highway, tears in the rain. They've been through the hell, but they'll do it again. With the roar of the engine and the wind in their face, they're a wild pair running from the chains of this place. Let the night fall and the road keep on turning. They'll keep riding on, their fire's still burning. Blood on the highway, they'll never look back. With the road ahead and no time to track. got the spirit of the storm in his soul. Every scar he's earned is a story untold, but he stands tall, won't be bottled, won't be sold. The wind may howl, the thunder may roll, but there's fire in his heart and steel in his soul. In the face of the storm, he won't back down. With a heart full of grit and his feet on the ground, he'll face the rain, let the thunder roar. He's a warrior standing in the storm's core. Lost it all, but she's found her fight. A broken heart won't keep her from the light. The past may haunt her, the road's been tough, but she's made of iron and she's calling that bluff. The wind may howl, the thunder may roll, but there's fire in her heart and steel in her soul. In the face of the storm, she won't back down. With a heart full of grit and her feet on the ground, she'll face the rain, let the thunder roll. She's a warrior standing in the storm's core. Through the trials and the pain, they'll rise again. Stronger than before, they'll face the wind. No matter how hard the storm may fight, they'll keep moving, keep chasing the light. In the face of the storm, they won't back down. With their hearts full of grit and their feet on the ground, they'll face the rain, let the thunder roar. They're warriors standing in the storm's core. So let the storm rage, let the wind blow cold. They'll stand their ground, hearts strong and bold. In the face of the storm, they'll never fall. They'll rise above it and give it their all.
She was raised on the edge of a canyon side, with a heart full of fire and a storm in her eyes. Dancing in the moonlight with the stars in her hair. She don't need no man, but she knows life ain't fair. The wind whispers low through the prairie's song. She's got the strength to keep moving on. Dusty roads and rebel hearts, they live for the thrill of the wild and the sparks. She's a dream in the dirt with a fire that won't die, running wild under that southern sky. He met her at a bar where the whiskey flowed free. She wore the scent of the open country. Her smile could light up the darkest night, but her soul had been broken from too many fights. She told him her story, he could hear the pain, but in her eyes there was freedom to gain. Dusty roads and rebel hearts, they live for the thrill of the wild and the sparks. She's a dream in the dirt with a fire that won't die, running wild under that southern sky. He knows the struggle, she knows the cost. In this wild land, we all get lost, but together they run in the heat of the fight. Two broken souls looking for the light. Dusty roads and rebel hearts, hearts, they live for the thrill of the wild and the sparks. She's a dream in the dirt with a fire that won't die, running wild under that southern sky. So let the road wind and let the night fall. They'll ride together through it all. Dusty roads and rebel hearts forever bound by the wild where it all starts.
Left her with a tear in his eye, chasing dreams that he couldn't deny. The road's been rough and his heart's been torn, but he's still driving, even though he's worn. The memories burn like a flame in his chest, but he knows he can't stop, he's got no rest. With the heart on the road, he's running from the pain, chasing the rain, looking for a new name. The past is a ghost that haunts every mile, but he's gonna keep riding for just a little while. She's been broken, but she's still alive. Every night she dreams of the day she'll survive. The weight on her shoulders feels too much to bear, but she keeps going with a prayer in the air. The love she lost still echoes in her mind, but she won't give in, she won't fall behind. With the heart on the road, she's running from the pain, chasing the rain, looking for a new name. The past is a ghost that haunts every mile, but she's gonna keep riding for just a little while. They've both been torn apart by time, but they're both still searching for a reason to climb. The road may be long and the night's too cold, but they'll find their way with hearts so bold. With the heart on the road, they're running from the pain, chasing the rain, looking for a new name. The past is a ghost that haunts every mile, but they're gonna keep riding for just a little while. So let the storms rage, let the winds howl, they'll keep moving forward under the night sky. With the heart on the road, they'll find their way, and maybe someday the past will fade away. He woke up at dawn with the taste of the fight, a heart full of fire and a thirst for the night. With the dust on his boots and the blood on his hands, he's a man of the wild, making his stand. He's seen the devil, but he won't back down. A rebel's heart don't ever wear a crown. Whiskey and thunder, that's how he rolls, chasing the wild with fire in his soul. Through the storm, through the rain, through the fire and the sin, he's a warrior at heart, and he'll never give in. She's got the same fire and the same wild streak, a rebel spirit that'll never be weak. She's been through hell and she's come back again, with a fistful of fire and a heart full of pain. She stood her ground through every test, a queen of the rebel, she's one of the best. Whiskey and thunder, that's how she rolls, chasing the wild with fire in her soul. Through the storm, through the rain, through the fire and the sin, she's a warrior at heart, and she'll never give in. They meet in the darkness, both ready to fight, with whiskey on their breath and thunder in their sight. Together they ride through the storm and the pain, with the power of the thunder and the whiskey in their veins. Whiskey and thunder, that's how they roll, chasing the wild with fire in their soul. Through the storm, through the rain, through the fire and the sin, they're warriors at heart, and they'll never give in. So let the thunder roar and the whiskey flow, they'll ride together where the wild winds blow. Whiskey and thunder, that's their creed, for freedom, for pride, for everything they need.
You know what's coming to Chris outside? I for sing for sure. It's quite a nice special free on this holiday. Good song for same old pricks. And yeah, free singing constable options. Feel like can serious fair questions they on the sing. And
The long road ahead, with a wild heart and a soul that's been led, raised on whiskey and the stories of old, where the dust fills your lungs and the truth turns cold. He's been knocked down, but he's always stood tall, a fighter by nature with no place to call home. He's torn between the dust and the sky, chasing freedom, but it's always a lie. He's running so fast, but he don't know why, torn between the dust and the sky. She's a daughter of the Delta with a rebel's mind, left her roots behind, but she still can't unwind, with the ghost of her father and the weight of her name. She's a queen in her heart, but she's playing the game. She's been burned, but she won't back down. She's searching for answers in this battleground. She's torn between the dust and the sky, chasing freedom, but it's always a lie. She's running so fast, but she don't know why, torn between the dust and the sky. They've been through hell, but they're still here, fighting for a future with no more fear. They'll find their way, though the road is long, torn between the dust, but they'll keep moving on. They're torn between the dust and the sky, chasing freedom, but it's always a lie. They're running so fast, but they don't know why, torn between the dust and the sky. And in the end, they'll find their peace when the dust settles and the winds cease. Torn between the dust and the sky, but they'll keep running, keep dreaming and fly. the sun beats down. He learned to fight before he could talk. Now he walks the line every step of a walk. The road's been long, but he's never slowed. Through the blood and dust, he's paved his own road. With blood and dust in his veins, he's been down, but he's never chained. With a heart full of grit and a fire that won't die, he'll keep riding under that southern sky. Out on that lonely street with a broken heart and worn out feet, but she don't cry, no, she don't weep. She's built from the earth where the tough ones sleep. The world can be cold, but she's hard as stone. She'll rise from the ashes, she'll never be alone. With blood and dust in her veins, she's been down, never chained. With a heart full of grit and a fire that won't die, she'll keep riding under that southern sky. And the rain, they'll fight to survive in the land where the wild still feels alive. With calloused hands and hearts of stone, they'll keep riding, they'll never be alone. With blood and dust in their veins, they've been down, but they've never changed. With hearts full of grit and fires that won't die, they'll keep riding under that southern sky. So let the dust rise and let the road bend. They'll keep riding until the very end. With blood and dust in their veins, they'll fight, they'll keep riding through the day and the night. Out on the dirt road where the sun don't shine, he's working his hands till they're calloused and blind. With a heart full of fire, a soul made of steel, he's lived through the pain and he's learned how to feel. There's a storm in his chest, but he won't let it show. He's a man of the land and he'll never let go. Tears in the dust, that's the price he pays for a life that's rough and a heart that never sways. He'll fight through the night and rise with the dawn. Tears in the dust, but he keeps moving on. She's a wild one born from the fire and rain, with a soul that's been broken, but she'll never complain. She's seen the good times and she's seen the bad, but she carries the weight like a woman should have. She's been knocked down, but she's never been beat. She's a force of nature on her own 2 feet. Tears in the dust, that's the price he pays for a life that's rough and a heart that never sways. She'll fight through the night and rise with the dawn. Tears in the dust, but she keeps moving on. In the silence night. They both feel the burn, but the grit in their bones is something they've earned. Through the tears and the dust, through the highs and the lows, they'll stand together and the fire will glow. Tears in the dust, that's the price they pay for a life that's rough and a heart that never sways. They'll fight through the night and rise with the dawn. Tears in the dust, but they keep moving on. So let the winds blow, let the storm rage on. They'll stand tall till the battle's won. Tears in the dust, but they'll never fall. The grit in their hearts makes them stand tall. Born with a fire and a heart full of rage. He's been caged by the world, locked in a cage, but he ain't gonna bow, he ain't gonna fall. He's got the courage to stand, and he's ready to call. The chains may try to hold him down, but he's breaking free. He's gonna burn this town, he'll run wild. Where the wind don't die, he'll chase freedom. Beneath the open sky, a rebel soul with no place to hide. He's taking back what they tried to deny. She was raised with a fire in her blood, but the world told her be quiet, stay in the mud. But she knows her worth, she knows her right, and she's breaking free. She's ready to fight. They told her to fit in, to walk the line, but she's been living her own life. Taking her time, she'll run wild. Where the wind don't die, she'll chase freedom. Beneath the open sky, a rebel soul with no place to hide. She's taking back what they tried to deny. They'll find their way with hearts full of fire and the will to stay. They'll fight for freedom, they'll fight for the right. They won't be caged, they'll rise from the night. They'll run wild, where the wind don't die. They'll chase freedom, beneath the open sky. A rebel soul with no place to hide. They're taking back what they tried to deny. So let the world burn, let the road be long. They'll run wild, where they belong. With fire in their hearts and the wind in their hair, they'll run wild, and they'll never care. raised in the dust with a steel in his spine, where the sun don't shine, but he learned to climb. The road's been rough with no easy way, but he keeps his eyes straight, never led astray. The wind's in his hair and the dirt on his face. He's got nothing to prove, but he'll take his place. It's a hard road to ride, but he's got the grit. Life's a gamble, but he won't quit. With blood on his hands and fire in his soul, he'll keep riding till he reaches his goal. She's got boots full of dirt and a heart full of scars. She's been down to the depths, but she's reaching for stars. The world can be cruel, but she's built to last. With a past full of pain, but her will steadfast. The road's never easy, but she knows the cost. She'll fight till she's found what she's almost lost. It's a hard road to ride, but she's got the grit. Life's a gamble, but she won't quit. With blood on her hands and fire in her soul, she'll keep riding till she reaches her goal. Underneath the stars, by the light of the moon, they ride through the night singing a rebel tune. With their hearts made of fire and their spirits untamed, they're walking that line and they'll never be the same. It's a hard road to ride, but they've got the grit. Life's a gamble, but they won't quit. With blood on their hands and fire in their soul, they'll keep riding till they reach their goal. So let the road twist and let the winds howl. They'll keep riding through the night, they'll never bow. With grit in their bones and fire in their veins, they'll keep riding till they break those chains. He's got dust on his boots and scars on his soul. Living like a ghost, but he's never let go. The world's full of lies, but he don't need no mask. He's a wild man with a hell of a past. The wind in his face, the road under his feet. He don't follow rules, but he's always on beat. He'll run to the fire where the heat feels right, chasing freedom through the darkest night. A rebel heart with a restless mind, never looking back, leaving it all behind. She's been broken, she's been burned, but life's a lesson and she's here to learn. With a bottle in her hand and a fire in her chest, she don't want no peace, she just needs to confess. The past's a shadow that she can't outrun, but she's out here fighting till the battle's won. He'll run to the fire where the heat feels right, chasing freedom through the darkest night. A rebel heart with a restless mind, never looking back, leaving it all behind. Two souls on the run from a world that don't care, with nothing but hope and a prayer in the air. They're the outlaws, they're the dreamers, they're the ones who fight till they find their freedom. They'll run to the fire where the heat feels right, chasing freedom through the darkest night. a rebel heart with a restless mind, never looking back, leaving it all behind. So let the world burn, let the road twist and wind. They'll keep running until they leave it all behind. With rebel hearts and a fire untamed, they'll ride forever and never be the same. Dust is rising, the wind's blowing cold. He's been fighting the fight, getting tired and old. With a whiskey in hand and a rifle on his side, he's searching for answers, just trying to survive. The roads are rough, but he ain't backing down. Through the fires of life, he's still standing his ground. Whiskey and wires and the thunder rolls. He's running from the devil, but he's found his soul. Through the blood, sweat, and tears, he'll never fall. Whiskey and wires, he's standing tall. She's a hard-nosed woman with a heart full of fight. She's seen the dark days, but she's still burning bright. With a love for the wild and a will to be free, she's chasing a dream that no one else can see. Through the smoke and the flames, she's holding on tight. Her spirit's untamed and her heart's full of light. Whiskey and wires and the thunder rolls. She's running from the past, but she's found her soul. Through the blood, sweat, and tears, she'll never fall. Whiskey and wires, she's standing tall. They both seen the pain, but they keep moving forward through the wind and the rain. With whiskey in their veins and wires in their hands, they're taking their chances and they're making their stand. Whiskey and wires and the thunder rolls. They're running from the past, but they found their souls. Through the blood, sweat, and tears, they'll never fall. Whiskey and wires, they're standing tall. So let the storm come, let the night get dark. They'll keep riding on with a fire in their hearts. Whiskey and wires, they'll never break. Through the blood and the battle, they'll never forsake. Engine's humming and the night's burning cold. He's a man of the road with a heart turning gold. With a bag full of dreams and the pain in his eyes, he's chasing that sun through the lows and the highs. The moonlight's his guide, but the stars are his friends. He's been running for freedom, but don't know where it ends. Chasing that midnight sun through the dust and the rain. He's a rebel at heart with the world on his chain. He's fighting for the right to live free and alone. Chasing that midnight sun till he finds his home. She's a wild soul with a past you can't shake. heart full of love, but too much heartache. With a whiskey-stained shirt and her boots in the dirt, she's been running from demons, always hurting and hurt. The fire in her chest, it'll never burn out. She's searching for answers with no doubt. Chasing that midnight sun through the dust and the rain. She's a rebel at heart with the world on her chain. She's fighting for the right to live free and alone. Chasing that midnight sun till she finds her home. They both got scars, they both got a past, but they know deep inside they're built to last. With their hearts on fire and their eyes on the sky, they'll chase that midnight sun no matter how high. Chasing that midnight sun through the dust and the rain. They're rebels at heart with the world on their chain. Fighting for the right to live free and alone. Chasing that midnight sun till they find their home. So let the road twist, let the winds howl out. They'll keep chasing that sun, head held proud. Chasing that midnight sun till the day is done. They'll find freedom in the light, and they'll be the ones. Born on a road where the dust never clears, with a heart full of fire and a lifetime of fears. He's walked through hell, but he's still standing tall. Every scar on his skin tells the price of it all. The world don't care if you fall or rise, but he'll keep fighting with fire in his eyes. Torn but strong, he'll never break. Through every storm, he's wide awake. Life's a battle and it's never fair, but he'll keep running, he'll keep fighting there. She's been knocked down, left in the dirt. Had to crawl out, yeah, it really hurt. The nights were long and the pain was deep, but she learned the truth's worth the price to keep. The world may break you, tear you apart, but she's built from grit with a steel heart. Torn but strong, she'll never break. Through every storm, she's wide awake. Life's a battle and it's never fair, but she'll keep running, she'll keep fighting there. In the darkest nights and the hardest days, they'll rise from the ashes and find their way. The road's too rough, but they'll walk it still. With the fire inside, they'll climb the hill. Torn but strong, they'll never break. Through every storm, they're wide awake. Life's a battle and it's never fair, but they'll keep running, they'll keep fighting there. So let the winds howl and the skies turn black. They'll keep moving forward, never looking back. Torn but strong, they'll stand their ground, 'cause in this battle they're never gonna back down. The engine roars as the sun sets low. Another day gone, but they ain't slowing down the road. With a love that's wild and a heart that won't break, they're chasing the stars for the freedom they take. Through the wind, through the storm, they don't look back. Riding for tomorrow and they're never off track. Burning through the midnight and they'll never stop. With the fire in their eyes, climbing every mountaintop. Through the dust and the rain, they're staying alive. Burning through the midnight just to survive. She's been fighting hard, but she won't fall down. With a flame in her soul and her boots on the ground. She's got the world in her rear view, but she don't mind. Chasing what hers, leaving the past behind. Every mile that fades brings a little more light. She's burning like the stars in the middle of the night. Burning through the midnight and they'll never stop. With the fire in their eyes, climbing every mountaintop. Through the dust and the rain, they're staying alive. Burning through the midnight just to survive. Don't need a reason, they don't need a plan. Just a road that keeps calling and the freedom in their hands. With the wind in their hair and the fire in their veins, they're running together through the storm and the flames. Burning through the midnight and they'll never stop. With the fire in their eyes, climbing every mountaintop. Through the dust and the rain, they're staying alive. Burning through the midnight just to survive. So let the road bend, let the night turn cold. They'll ride together, never growing old. Burning through the midnight with the stars up above. Chasing their freedom with a heart full of love. Born in the dust with a fistful of rage. He's fought through the storm, but he's stuck in a cage. The world don't care, it's a brutal fight, but he won't back down, no, not tonight. The wind's blowing cold, but he's out on his own. The only place he's free is where the wild winds roll. He's an outlaw on the road, and the battle's not done. He's fighting for the freedom, he's fighting for the sun. Through the blood and the sweat, he's still standing tall. An outlaw on the road, never gonna fall. darkness, lived through the pain, had her heart broken and stood in the rain. But she's built from fire, forged in the flame. She'll never give in and she'll never be the same. The world may try to break her, but she stands her ground. She'll fight till she's found what she's been missing all around. She's an outlaw on the road, and the battle's not done. She's fighting for the freedom, she's fighting for the sun. Through the blood and the sweat, she's still standing tall. An outlaw on the road, never gonna fall. With every mile they face the fight, in the dead of the day, in the darkest night, they'll ride until the world fades away, chasing freedom and they'll never stray. They're outlaws on the road, and the battle's not done. They're fighting for the freedom, they're fighting for the sun. Through the blood and the sweat, they're still standing tall. Outlaws on the road, never gonna fall. So let the storms roll, let the fires burn. They'll keep riding with no return. An outlaw's life, they've made their choice, and they'll ride the road with a rebel's voice. He was born in the shadow of a weathered old barn, where the wind howls loud and the night feels long. With a bottle of whiskey and the dirt on his boots, he's made of grit and fire, he'll never be subdued. He's got a heart full of trouble and a soul made of stone, but the road calls him and he's always alone. Whiskey and dust, that's the life he knows, chasing the wind down those old back roads. With a fire in his gut and the devil in his eyes, he'll ride or die, never saying goodbye. She's been knocked down, but she stands her ground. With a heart that's been broken, but she's still around. The world's tried to change her, but she won't be tamed. She's a wild soul and she's not afraid to play the game. With the scars of a fighter and the strength of a queen, she's got that southern pride and a fire that's unseen. Whiskey and dust, that's the life she knows, chasing the wind down those old back roads. With a fire in her gut and the devil in her eyes, she'll ride or die, never saying goodbye. They're the ones who never back down, riding through life with their heads held high. They'll face the storm, they'll fight the fight. They're rebels in the night, ready for the ride. Whiskey and dust, that's the life they know, chasing the wind down those old back roads. With a fire in their gut and the devil in their eyes, they'll ride or die, never never saying goodbye. So pour a drink, let the whiskey flow. We'll ride this life till the devil says so. Whiskey and dust, we're along.
The wind still whispers her name at night, underneath the stars in the pale moonlight. She was my fire, my reason to fight, but like the dust she slipped out of sight. I hear her laugh in the thunder's roll, feel her touch when the night gets cold. But the road's been long and the love's been lost. I can't forget her, no matter the cost. The echoes of her name in the midnight air, a love so deep, but it's no longer there. She's gone with the dawn, like the morning rain, but I still hear her calling my name. We danced by the fire and we swam in the stream. She was my heart, she was my dream. But dreams fade fast and hearts can break, and we lost what we had for love's own sake. Now the canyon's wide and the night's too long, but in my soul she still sings her song. The echoes of her name in the midnight air, a love so deep, but it's no longer there. She's gone with the dawn, like the morning rain, but I still hear her calling my name. She's the ghost in the firelight, the tear in my eye, the song in my soul that I can't deny. I've tried to move on, tried to forget, but her memory's a chain that I can't regret. The echoes of her name in the midnight air, a love so deep, but it's no longer there. She's gone with the dawn, like the morning rain, but I still hear her calling my name. So I'll ride through the night with her voice in my ear. Even though she's gone, she's still here. The echoes of her.
He was born on a dirt road, under a wild sky, where the wind whispered secrets and the eagles fly. With a beat-up guitar and a pocket full of dreams, he's been running through life like a river and a stream. The city lights don't shine the same. He's got the soul of a rebel, born to play the game. Wild at heart, that's who I am. Chasing the freedom with blood on my hands. Through the fire and the rain, I'll never fall apart. I'm burning alive, wild at heart. She was raised in the valley where the river bends. where the stars are the only light that never ends, with a spirit untamed and a will of stone. She's been living her truth, never standing alone. The world tried to cage her, tried to lock her down, but she's got the strength to burn the whole damn town. Wild at heart, that's who I am, chasing the freedom with blood on my hands. Through the fire and the rain, I'll never fall apart, I'm burning alive. Wild at heart. Side with fire in their souls and nowhere to hide. They've seen the darkness, but they're still standing tall. They're wild at heart, and they'll never fall. Wild at heart, that's who I am, chasing the freedom with blood on my hands. Through the fire and the rain, I'll never fall apart, I'm burning alive. Wild at heart. So let the storm rage, let the world turn cold. They'll keep riding free, they'll never be sold.
Been working that farm since the break of dawn. With calloused hands, she's learned to carry on. The land ain't kind and the money's real tight, but she's got a heart that burns like a wildfire at night. Through the dust, through the pain, she stands tall. A warrior at heart, she'll never fall. Dirt and fire, that's what she's made of, chasing dreams that they said were too tough. Through the blood, through the sweat, she'll make her way, with dirt on her hands and fire in her veins. He's a man of the road with a story to tell, a few too many scars, but he wears them well. He don't run from the fight, no matter how deep. He's learned how to climb, even when he's weak. He's been broken, but he's never been beat. With fire in his soul, he's always on his feet. Dirt and fire, that's what she's made of, chasing dreams that they said were too tough. Through the blood, through the sweat, he'll make his way, with dirt on his hands and fire in his veins. Both carrying the load, with dirt on their boots and fire on the road. Through every battle, through every scar, they'll stand together, no matter how far. Dirt and fire, that's what they're made of, chasing dreams that they said were too tough. Through the blood, through the sweat, they'll make their way, with dirt on their hands and fire in their veins. So let the dust rise, let the fire burn. They'll keep pushing forward, they'll never turn. Dirt and fire, that's their creed, a life lived on their own with everything they
He was born in the heat and the dust and the rain, where the sound of the train was the call of the pain. He's walked through fires, been burned by the flame, but he's never stopped, never ashamed. Every mile's a memory, every turn's a scar, but he knows he's gotta go, no matter how far. Torn between the roads, but he keeps moving on with a heart full of hope, but the past too strong. Every step he takes, he's a man in the fight. Torn between the roads, but he's looking for the light. She's been out on the edge where the wild winds blow, lost in the night with no place to go. Her heart's been shattered, her soul's been bruised, but she's still running, she'll never be used. The road's always calling, but she's afraid of the pain. Still she keeps moving through the wind and the rain. Torn between the roads, but she keeps moving on with a heart full of hope, but the past too strong. Every step she takes, she's a woman in the fight. Torn between the roads, but she's looking for the light. The road don't care about the tears they cry, but it's the road that will show them where to fly. With every twist and turn, they'll find their way. With hearts full of fire, they'll live to see the day. Torn between the roads, but they keep moving on with hearts full of hope, but the past too strong. Every step they take, they're soldiers in the fight. Torn between the roads, but they're looking for the light. So let the winds blow, let the storms rage. They'll keep riding, breaking out of the cage. Torn between the roads, they'll find their way, and maybe someday the pain will fade away. He woke up with the sun, feeling the weight of the world, the dust in his lungs, but his flag still unfurled. Been fighting through the night, battle scars on his face, ain't no quit in his bones, no time to waste. Through the storms, through the pain, he's still holding the line. With the grit in his heart, he knows it's his time. A stone and steel, that's what I'm made of. Born to fight, never backing down from the love. Through the blood, through the mud, I'll make my stand. A stone and steel, that's who I am. She's been down every road that the devil's laid out, but she ain't ever scared, she knows what life's about. From the shackles of her past to the dreams she will chase, she's got the fire to burn through every empty space. She won't break, she won't fall, her spirit's untamed. backing down from the load. Through the blood, through the mud, she'll make her stand. A stone and steel, that's who I am. Together they ride, side by side, with stone in their hearts and steel in their stride. Through the darkness, through the fear, they'll keep moving forward with no end near. A stone to steel, that's what we're made of. Born to fight. He was born where the river runs dry, with a broken home and 1,000 lies. His mama's gone and his daddy's drunk, but he's still standing, never giving up. The world's a beast that don't play fair, but he's still here with blood in the air. Born to fight, born to burn. He'll take the pain and never turn. Life's a battle, but he'll never bow. He'll rise again somehow. She's been beaten, she's been scarred, torn apart by life's cruel card. But there's a fire in her chest. She's been down, but she's far from less. The world can break her, tear her apart, but she keeps fighting with an iron heart. Born to fight, born to burn. She'll take the pain and never turn. Life's a battle, but she'll never bow. She'll rise again somehow. Too strong, the night's too long, but they keep fighting, they keep moving on. Their hearts are broken, but still they climb. Outlaws and rebels standing the test of time. Born to fight, born to burn. They'll take the pain and never turn. Life's a battle, but they'll never bow. They'll rise again somehow. So let the road be tough and the nights be cold. They were born to fight and never fold. With fire in their eyes and grit in their bones, they'll keep fighting till they find their home. the chains of the past wouldn't set him free. He knew the price, but he paid it anyway. A rebel's heart can't be led astray. Chasing the fire, never looking back. Fighting for a world that's lost its track. With a fist in the air and a soul full of pride, he's chasing the fire, won't be denied. She's a daughter of the South with a fire in her veins, raised on the sound of the pouring rain. She's been knocked down, but she won't stay down. She's the queen of the rebels, wears that crown. She's walked through the ashes, she's felt the cold, but the fire inside her keeps burning bold. Chasing the fire, never looking back. Fighting for a world that's lost its track. With a fist in the air and a soul full of pride, she's chasing the fire, won't be denied. Together through the storm and the night, two hearts, one fight, chasing the light. The world may fall, but they'll never back down. They're rebels with a cause, standing their ground. Chasing the fire, never looking back. Fighting for a world that's lost its track. With a fist in the air and a soul full of pride, they're chasing the fire, won't be denied. So let the flames rise high, let the darkness fall. They'll stand tall, answering the call. Chasing the fire, chasing what's right. They'll keep on fighting through the darkest night. Sun's burning hot and the road is long. He's been chasing dreams since he was young. With a worn out hat and a heart full of pride, he's been running wild with nowhere to hide. The world's got his claws trying to pull him down, but he's built like stone and he won't drown. Riding through the fire, he's making his way. Through the smoke, through the flames, he'll never stray. With the wind in his face and the dust in his veins, he's riding through the fire, breaking the chains. She's been down in the valley where the shadows fall, but she never bowed, she never crawled. With the strength of the earth and the courage of the wild, she's been living free, never begging for a smile. The weight of the world tries to drag her down, but she's made of steel, never wearing a frown. Riding through the fire, she's making her way. Through the smoke, through the flame, she'll never stray. With the wind in her face and the dust in her veins, she's riding through the fire, breaking the chains. Together they ride, fight the demons, they'll break the mold with the power of the storm and the strength of the bold. Riding through the fire, they're making their way. Through the smoke, through the flames, they'll never stray. With the wind in their face and the dust in their veins, they're riding through the fire, breaking the chains. So let the fire rage, let the storm take its toll. They'll ride through the night with fire in their soul. Riding through the fire, they'll never fall. Breaking the chains, they'll conquer it all. Sound of the engine's roar, dust in the air, but I'm heading for more. A man with a plan, but the road ain't clear. Every mile's a battle, but I've got no fear. I've been down, I've been out, but I'm still standing tall. The grit in my bones keeps me from falling at all. Grit in my bones, fire in my soul, chasing the dream that nobody controls. Through the mud, through the blood, I'll make my stand. With grit in my bones, I'll take this land. She's a heart of steel with a will that won't break, living for the fight no matter what's at stake. She's been knocked down, but she gets back up. With every bruise and scar, she's had enough. They say the world's tough, but she's tougher still. She's made of grit and she's got the will. Grit in my bones, fire in my soul, chasing the dream that nobody controls. Through the mud, through the blood, I'll make my stand. With grit in my bones, I'll take this land. Raised by the fight, with the grit in our bones, we'll stand through the night. We'll ride till we're broken, we'll ride till we fall, but with grit in our bones, we'll stand tall through it all. Grit in my bones, fire in my soul, chasing the dream that nobody controls. Through the mud, through the blood, I'll make my stand. With grit in my bones, I'll take this land. So let the storm rage, let the winds blow strong. With grit in my bones, I'll keep moving on. Through every trial, I'll face it alone, but I'll rise again with grit in my bones. Born on the wrong side of the river in the tracks. He grew up with fire and a hunger in his back, with a fist in the air and the stars in his eyes. He made his own rules never thought to compromise. The road was hard, but he learned to stand tall. He won't be the one to let the devil make the call. He's got the heart of a rebel and the soul of a fighter, burning with fire and getting higher and higher in the dust and the dirt with a heart full of pride. He'll never back down, no matter the ride. She was born where the sun meets the lonely plains, with dreams like thunder and love full of chains. But she ain't afraid to fight for what's her own. She'll face the storm, she'll never be alone. They told her to stop, but she's still on the run. With a rebel's heart, she's always been the one. She's got the heart of a rebel and the soul of a fighter, burning with fire and getting higher and higher in the dust and the dirt with a heart full of pride. She'll never back down, no matter the ride. They've been knocked down, they've been scarred and torn, but in their hearts they're still reborn. They stand strong with the wind in their face, fighting the world and never losing pace. They've got the heart of a rebels and the soul of a fighter, burning with fire and getting higher and higher in the dust and the dirt with a heart full of pride. They'll never back down, no matter the ride. With the heart of a rebel, they'll keep moving on. Through the fire, through the storm, they'll sing their song. With the heart of a rebel, they'll never be tamed. They'll rise again and light up the flames. He was born in the fire where the wild winds blow, a hard-living man with a heart full of woe. With the weight of the world on his tired old back, he's searching for freedom, but it's never on track. He knows the cost, but he's willing to pay. The devil's been calling, but he won't fade away. He's burning for glory with the fire in his soul, chasing the wind, but never letting go. Through the blood and the battle, he'll rise above, burning for glory, fighting for love. She's a runaway heart with the scars of the past. She's been through the storm, but she's built to last. With a taste of the whiskey and a long road ahead, she'll never look back, even when she's misled. She's searching for peace in a world gone cold. She won't let the pain be the story she's told. She's burning for glory with the fire in her soul, chasing the wind, but never letting go. Through the blood and the battle, she'll rise above, burning for glory, fighting for love. They've both been broken, but they're not the same. Through the storm and the thunder, they'll stand in the flames. With the fire in their eyes and the strength in their bones, they'll burn for glory, never walk alone. They're burning for glory with the fire in their souls, chasing the wind, but never letting go. Through the blood and the battle, they'll rise above, burning for glory, fighting for love. So let the fire burn, let the thunder roar. They'll keep on fighting forevermore, burning for glory, their hearts on fire, chasing that dream till the flames take them higher. On the wrong side of the track, fist full of fury and a heart full of black. He's seen the world try to keep him down, but he'll rise again, take back his crown. The weight of the chains, it's a heavy load, but he's gonna break free, he's gonna hit the road. There ain't no chains on my soul, no shackles to hold me. I'll burn through the darkness and set my heart free. With the fire in my veins and the wind in my back, I'm gonna keep moving, there's no looking back. She was left to fight her own damn fight, heart full of scars from the darkest night. But she's tougher than the world can see. She's a rebel with a cause and she'll always be free. They tried to cage her but they couldn't tame. She's running wild with no shame. There ain't no chains on my soul, no shackles to hold me. I'll burn through the darkness and set my heart free. With the fire in my veins and the wind in my back, I'm gonna keep moving, there's no looking back. They felt the pain, but they're still standing and they'll break every chain. With the blood on their hands and the fire in their eyes, they'll rise from the ashes and claim the prize. There ain't no chains on my soul, no shackles to hold me. I'll burn through the darkness and set my heart free. With the fire in my veins and the wind in my back, I'm gonna keep moving, there's no looking back. So let the chains fall, let the fire burn. They'll keep moving forward, it's the time to return. There ain't no chains on my soul, I'll keep moving, I'll take control.
Walking these roads since he was a kid, with his boots worn down from the work he did. A dusty heart and a weathered soul, looking for something but never feeling whole. The wind keeps blowing, the rain keeps falling, but he don't stop, no, he keeps on calling. Boots on the ground, head held high. He don't need a reason, just the open sky. A heart that's beating, a life that's tough, but he'll keep fighting even when it's rough. He met a girl down by the creek one night with a smile that burned, but her heart wasn't right. She left him alone when the sun rose high, with nothing but tears and a goodbye. But he ain't crying, no, he don't regret, for every road's got a lesson to get. Boots on the ground, head held high. He don't need a reason, just the open sky. A heart that's beaten, a life that's tough, but he'll keep fighting even when it's rough. They come and the years they go, but the strength in his bones, it only grows. He's seen the darkest days and the brightest nights, but he still believes in the fire inside. Boots on the ground, head held high. He don't need a reason, just the open sky. A heart that's beaten, a life that's tough, but he'll keep fighting even when it's rough. So let the storms roll in and the fires burn. He'll ride on through with no return. Boots on the ground and the heart of a man. He'll keep moving on. That's the only plan.
In the shadows, raised in the dust, and not afraid to fight. They do what they must, with the fire of freedom burning in their veins. They walk the line between joy and pain. They've seen the chains and they've heard the lies, but they've got the truth burning in their eyes. They're rebels with a cause, ready to stand, fighting for freedom in this broken land. Through the blood and the tears, they'll never give in. They're rebels with a cause, and they'll fight to the end. She's a warrior, born from the ground, with a heart full of fire and a soul unbound. She's lost her way, but she's found her fight. She'll tear down the walls that try to block her light. They've tried to break her, tried to make her fall, but she stands tall, she answers the call. She's a rebel with a cause, ready to stand, fighting for freedom in this broken land. Through the blood and the tears, she'll never give in. She's a rebel with a cause, and she'll fight to the end. Chains, no more fear, they're rising up, the truth is clear. With hearts of steel and eyes on the prize, they'll bring the change that burns in their eyes. They're rebels with a cause, ready to stand, fighting for freedom in this broken land. Through the blood and the tears, they'll never give in. They're rebels with a cause, and they'll fight to the end. rage on, they'll keep marching till the day is gone. Rebels with a cause, they'll never back down. They'll fight for the truth, they'll fight for this town. Woke up to the sound of the thunder rolling in. Another day, another fight's where the story begins. The whiskey's burning slow and the rain's coming down, but the fire in his soul won't ever drown. He's been to hell and back, but he's still standing tall. The storm may rage, but he'll never fall. Whiskey and thunder, that's what he's made of. Chasing freedom, running wild, never giving up. Through the dark, through the cold, he'll find his way. With whiskey in his veins and thunder in his day. She's been living on the edge where the wild winds blow. A heart full of fire and a past she don't show. She don't need no man, but she's been burned by the flames. But she'll rise again, never playing the same games. She's seen the wreckage, but she's still alive. With whiskey in her heart, she'll always survive. Whiskey and thunder, that's what she's made of. Chasing freedom, running wild, never giving up. Through the dark, through the cold, she'll find her way. With whiskey in her veins and thunder in her day. Together they ride through the storm and the rain. With whiskey and thunder, they'll break every chain. They're wild, they're free, and they're bound by no man. With fire in their hearts and a drink in their hand. Whiskey and thunder, that's what they're made of. Chasing freedom, running wild, never giving up. Through the dark, through the cold, to find their way. With whiskey in their veins and thunder in their day. Let the thunder crash, let the whiskey flow. They'll keep riding high, never letting go. Whiskey and thunder, that's their creed. A life of freedom with all that they need. He's got whiskey on his breath and a bullet in his hand, fighting for a dream that the world don't understand. With the scars on his soul and the dirt on his boots, he's a man of the land and he's ready to shoot. He's been broken, he's been burned, but in his heart the fire still burns. Blood and bourbon, that's the price he pays for a life that's wild in a world gone gray. With a heart full of rage and a fist in the sky, he'll fight for freedom, he'll never die. She's got a heart full of pride and a soul full of fire, raised on the truth and a deep desire. She don't care for the rules, never cared for the law. She's a rebel at heart and she's standing tall. She's been torn and she's been scarred, but she's a warrior and she's living hard. Blood and bourbon, that's the price he pays for a life that's wild in a world gone gray. With a heart full of rage and a fist in the sky, she'll fight for freedom. She'll never die. They ride together through the storm and the night, with a burning desire, ready for the fight. They'll bleed for their freedom, they'll die for the cause. These rebels stand tall without any flaws. Blood and bourbon, that's the price they pay for a life that's wild in a world gone gray. With a heart full of rage and a fist in the sky, they'll fight for freedom. They'll never die. So pour the bourbon, let the blood run free. They'll live and die for the land they believe. Blood and